Thank you, listeners. And as promised, in studio today, it's our update from Elko County School Superintendent C.J. Anderson. And today, C.J. has brought a guest in a CTE Facilitator, Heather Steele. So we're going to talk about some great workforce, career opportunities, educational training for our Elko County school students. Well, welcome, C.J., and happy new school year.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here with you again.
Great to see you. And of course, thank you for bringing Heather today. And we'll introduce Heather and talk more about all the exciting opportunities. How's the 4-day adjustment going, would you say, CJ?
I would say so far so good. I've been able to visit all of our, I shouldn't say all, the vast majority of all of our schools during these first few weeks of school. And, as I'm there, informally checking in with administrators, with teachers, with other staff, with students, and just kind of asking, hey, how's the start to the year going? How you feeling? Feel free to tell me if you're anxious or if you're worried or you're hating it. Give me your honest opinion on how things are going. And people have been very good about just sharing their perspectives, and the kind of overwhelming feedback that I've got has been, hey, it's been pretty good. We're pretty happy with it.
I'm going to go shut the air conditioner off and you start telling us again about the support services available, CJ, because there are some things being rolled in. For example, the enrichment programs on various campuses, as well as Friday lunch opportunities. I understand these could turn out to be really neat opportunities for students who may not have had those options before.
Yeah, so when we made that switch to 4-day back in the spring, I think, maybe late winter, early spring, the school board made that decision to make the transition for this school year. There were various concerns or areas of need that we wanted to still try to be attentive to for different members of our community, and so tough to get that stuff going right at the very first week of school with the holiday weekends and everything, but we're starting to see some of those kick into gear here right away. And so at our campuses, especially the ones in Elko and Spring Creek, starting this Friday, we are going to have the Friday lunch service and enrichment activities. And what that will look like is a little different from place to place, but keep in mind that in Elko, that opportunity will take place at Southside Elementary, and in Spring Creek, that will take place at Sage Elementary, and that location is meant to service the entire community for that. So whether you attend Spring Creek Elementary or Spring Creek High School or whatever school in Spring Creek you go to, you can attend that opportunity at Sage. And so it's meant to be like a hub in that community for the lunch and enrichment service. And so meals are provided there. The times do vary from location to location. We sent out a flyer recently to all the schools, and it's up on our website right now. As we've talked about before, kind of right when you get to the ECSDNV.net page in the top right corner, there's like a little button that you can push that says 4-day school week. And when you go there, all the information about everything that's very specifically related to 4 days is going to be contained there. Anything that we have firmly established and is not anything you hear that may be happening but isn't there is probably not set in stone yet. And so, but that is there now. We have we've got that flyer up there. And so it shows all the campuses and all the locations all throughout the district where those things will be happening. And so some people have asked, what does enrichment mean? And so along with the meal service, there's an enrichment activity that will go on, and that will vary too from place to place. Every location, kind of knowing its student population and what sort of enrichment activities. So those could look like, it's going to be educational enrichment, right? But that could be in the form of games, or it could be in the form of instructional videos. It could be in the form of interaction with a staff member. So it could be an outside entity. Someone could invite someone from Nevada Outdoor Schools to come give a presentation. So it's really hard to put a finger and say this is what you can expect from an enrichment activity, because it is going to vary. And so all of the dates of all of those services are on that flyer. All of the locations, the time of day that they do that is on there. And so you'll definitely want to reference that if you're hoping to be there. And something else that we wanted to point out is you are not required to attend with your child, but we certainly do welcome a parent to sit alongside their student as they participate in that enrichment activity and have their meal. And so certainly welcome parents to come into the school to be with their student during that time.
I saw that Kayla mentioned that specifically in her promotion, and I think that's really important because that's creating a community hub, as you use the word community, which is really important because schools need that going forward in any school to succeed, right? The campuses, the teachers, administrators need parent support?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, campuses are always going to be more successful in most regards when you have that parent involvement and that support. And so, we really encourage anyone who wants to take advantage of those opportunities to please attend. Schools will also have their own schedules for tutoring options, somewhere where maybe if kids need to catch up from being gone for whatever reason or just fallen behind a little bit, then those schools will contact those schedules out for when staff members will be available to, whether it's for an hour or 2 hours on a Friday to help support and provide some tutoring or just a safe place for a kid to work on some schoolwork with some of our staff members there with them.
And that's a great point to make too. This a lot of this is made possible because of the dedication of the teachers, right? They're coming together and deciding who can actually staff and promote this enrichment process.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And probably a good chance to kind of highlight Elko County School District relationship with Elko County Classroom Teachers Association, known as ECCTA, because we see the big mess going on in Clark County right now, and that's just not the situation in Elko County, CJ.
Yeah, we certainly try to avoid anything that looks like that. I mean, we're in a position right now where we are still engaged in our kind of semi-annual, sometimes it's annual bargaining that happens among the between the unions and the school district, and we have a pretty good working relationship there. I mean, no matter what situation you're in, there's always differences of opinions and that sort of thing, but it's always a professional, amicable relationship, and we're grateful for the leadership from those different unions, and it's never like a really uncomfortable situation to sit down across from the table and work with them. And so, yeah, it's been going well. We're still not quite finalized with anything yet, but certainly we're working on it.
All right, CJ. And you came from an education background. You were a teacher in the classroom before you became an administrator. That's always positive. And also, we've seen Elko County classroom teachers in the past forego raises when they understood that we just didn't have resources.
Yeah. So that sometimes that happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying, in all fairness, that it just seems like they seem to put the students first.
There's always a delicate balance, right? Like, because as a school district, you want to take care of your employees and show them that they are valued and how important they are, and you certainly don't want to lose them to someone else. Like, we want to keep those people here because they know our students, they know the community. It's good to have that consistency. But at the same time, the school district leadership is certainly responsible for making sure we are being fiduciarily responsible with our budget. And I think it's important for staff members from all across the district to realize it's not just the CFO and the superintendent's job to make sure that our budget is well taken care of. Everyone kind of plays a role in that, right? And so when you come to the table for bargaining, you have a role in that. How you use your supplies at the school, you have a role in that. How you deal with comp time, or there's so many different elements that go into our budget, right? And so everyone has a role to play in making sure we are responsibly using taxpayer money to educate our students, but also make sure that the people that come here and work here in Elko County School District are taken care of as well.
CJ Anderson is our Elko County School Superintendent and heading up today's Elko Live discussion, as we do at least once a month. We'll shift gears a little bit, CJ, and talk about some recent county commission action. And I guess they've kind of got the ball rolling when it comes to AB 519 and setting up an official committee, which will help to, I guess there's various opinions on this, whether it's oversight of all future school district capital improvement projects or just the Waihe School project in particular.
Yeah, so we did see the county commission, I think it was last week, early last week, they got the ball rolling with the oversight panel that is part of the AB 519, and we're going to follow suit and do the same thing here at our upcoming board meeting on Tuesday. So that, that without going, we're not going to delve totally into that, but, the bill in its entirety can be found easily online, and we're also attaching it to our agenda items. So That bill obviously has an appropriation of $64.5 million for the construction of the new Owyhee School, and it also requires Elko County to levy an additional 1 cent to 25 cent tax. The amount that is levied is determined by the county commission, and then along with both the appropriation that has come in and then with whatever tax is levied, there's to be an oversight panel that is appointed to review and recommend the funds that are going in it. So to review the funds that come in and go out and make recommendations on the best use of that. So that is what the purpose of the panel is. And so at the last county commission meeting, they appointed one of their commissioners, Mr. John Carr, to be their representative on that panel. And then they also discussed how they are going to go about appointing another member that is theirs to appoint. The school district also has the responsibility to appoint 2 of those 5 members. One of those is one of our members of the Board of Trustees. And so we anticipate that on Tuesday, one of those 7.
Or is it Thursday's meeting?
Tuesday.
Oh, you meet on Tuesdays? Okay.
We meet on Tuesdays, yes.
Okay.
So one of our board members will be appointed to that role, I imagine. And then the other member is someone that we will likely, so we'll take recommendations from board members about it, but we'll also we'll solicit resumes from people who are interested in that. And that appointment isn't just anyone, it's ours is to appoint someone who has experience in the construction of school facilities. And so that could be anyone who's managed that before, who's been involved in the construction, who's really been intricately involved in that process. So it could be a former district employee, it could just be someone in the community who's involved in the construction business and has had a hand in building schools or school sites and facilities. So we'll get that ball rolling as well. That panel just has to be in place by the time, we're going to try to get it in a really short manner, but it doesn't start doing a job until there is money received from this bill, right? So whether it's the money for the Owyhee building or money from this newly levied tax, that is the money that this panel will have oversight over, not grant money that the school district has received, not the pay-as-you-go funds from before. Those are all separate and not relevant to this oversight panel.
Thank you, CJ. I thought we could ask that question. I did want to explain to my momentary brain lapse in that now the county school board meets alternate Tuesdays from the city council. That was the change.
Yes, we did not change to Thursdays, but we did switch. Yeah, we're first and third Tuesdays of every month now.
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm. So just so listeners know, you can be very involved in your city government as well as your Elko County School. So it sounds as though you also, whether or not this is an informed opinion or this has actually been determined by, say, legal counsel, this oversight committee is just specific to the Owyhee School project and this pool of state money. CJ, would you say?
Yeah, I would say the easiest way to say it is any money that is a direct result of AB 519 is the money that they are responsible for reviewing and making recommendations for.
So it's not an oversight of all school capital projects?
No, it would not be.
Thank you for explaining that.
We are always welcome. We welcome people's opinions on everything, right? We hold all capital projects in regular board meetings and certainly welcome public comment in all of those. We definitely want people's opinion, and we always solicit it, and we always do so not only to the amount of time that the law requires, but more than that. And just as a reminder, we do have a capital improvement committee that the district has put together, which includes someone from Wendover, from Jackpot, from Owyhee, from Carlin, from Wells, from Elko, from Spring Creek, from the county commission, from the city, not the mayor, but the city government. I don't know what the right word is, sorry. Someone from the city, a representative. It's from the city council, that's who it is. And some others that I'm leaving out. And so that is a committee that makes up about, I don't know, it's like 14 or 15 people throughout the community as well as from within the district. And so all decisions made on every project, whether it's projects that will be derived from AB 519 money or money that we have already, that's already gone through the deliberation of quite a large committee already, and then of course through the school board. So there's no decision being made in a vacuum as it pertains to to our capital improvement projects.
CJ Anderson is our Elko County School Superintendent. We're about to fold Heather Steele into the conversation. Some of it involves her and the fact I thought you would maybe hand off to Heather if you like to talk about the new ag production facility out in Spring Creek. Speaking of multiple committees approving projects.
Yeah, so we can let Heather talk about that one a little more if she'd like to. I know she's got some other events that she wants to promo as well, but one of the projects that is currently on our capital improvement plan as a project the board is interested in is it's the food science building out there in Spring Creek, and that is a building that would facilitate an entire food science track, I guess I should say, of CTE, and along with that would be additional classrooms for Spring Creek High School for everyone, not just for food science purposes, and which is a needed situation in Spring Creek right now because we're seeing that enrollment continually increase, and we can tell from our class sizes at Spring Creek Middle School that they're only going to continue to increase. So additional classroom space at Spring Creek is sorely needed at this point. So where we are with that project at this moment is it has already been approved by the board. It's been designed, and the next phase is we've gone out to bid to solicit bids for that project to see, how those prices come back and to see if the board wants to move forward with the actual construction of it. So that has not been determined yet, but that is where we are in the process, very close to having to make that decision.
All right, CJ, thanks so much. We'll let you pop back in, obviously, if you are needed to do so. And welcome Heather Steele to the program. Heather's, of course, no stranger to education in our community. We appreciate your role as a CTE facilitator for the school district, Heather, and congratulations on the progress of this project. Sounds like it's in a response to a need.
It is, and thank you, Lori. It's great to be here. We're super excited about this project, mostly to expand the opportunities we have available to our Spring Creek students and expand space for those incoming classes who are potentially going to put Spring Creek High School over capacity. I was a member of the first graduating class of Spring Creek High School, so I know that building was completed and we entered it in 1993, and there hasn't been any major additions to Spring Creek High since then, and Spring Creek's grown significantly since 1993, for sure.
Absolutely. We know that the agricultural community is very important, not only throughout rural Nevada, but especially in the Spring Creek area. We should talk about what food science is, because I know there's a lot of misinformation kind of circulating, so let's clear it up.
Food science is an opportunity for students to be able to learn about how to safely handle food and process it and package it to reduce the opportunity for foodborne pathogens and things. So we're super excited because the kids will be able to take those skills and go anywhere with them, right? Anytime you're in a kitchen, whether it's your own or any kind of a commercial kitchen or handling food in any kind of area, those things are critical. We know for sure those students are going to come out of that program with industry recognized credentials. We also know that we have several not so local industries that are chomping at the bit to get kids who have just the training that we have to put them to work, starting at about $18 to $20 an hour. And those are great opportunities for our kids who are looking to not spend 4 years in a higher institution.
Right, and that's not for everybody, and we talked about that. Just in the initial research I did, Utah State University has an amazing program in food science, and they turn out graduates, and they go right to work in even much higher paying and in-demand jobs. So we recognize what you're talking about.
Yeah, Dr. Gokachia at the Nevada Department of Ag, they're really working hard on this food safety and sustainability for Nevada as a whole. Of course, Wolfpack Meats is now under a new thing, so we're super excited to be able to integrate our students into that opportunity. Of course, there's been students going through that WELLS program for quite some time. They take a field trip to the Utah State facility every year to check it out, to see those post-secondary options. So we're excited. we're excited.
Well, thanks for your diligence. Again, it's about a $2.7 million project, but as you said, it's overdue based on the actual enrollment and the students that are projected to be incoming, and something that Spring Creek High School can be really proud of, to have this unique facility. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So let's talk about some of the other work you've been doing in CTE and this opportunity for the community to participate in a career fair, Heather.
Sure. So on Tuesday, October 31st, we're saying 7 to 1. The students will be there from 8 to 12. We're having our annual Elko County School District College and Career Fair. We're really pushing the career side. We'd really like to see our local employers show up, not necessarily to hire our students, but maybe provide students with an opportunity to see what careers are out there and available, and give them those options. Because, asking is, and it would be all the seniors from all 7 high schools, plus the Battleborn cadets coming, for them to see the options that are out there. We've got a lot of seniors that are undecided, and they don't necessarily know which direction they want to go. So giving them an opportunity to see all the different kind of careers that are out there provides our students with an opportunity to really explore that.
So October 31st, and that's you're inviting local community representatives. It can be an agency or a family-owned business, or, we've, as legacy broadcasters, we've seen the need. Thanks to Matt Miller from Kinross, he reached out to us. Thanks to Gina Holmberg at Spring Creek High School, we're going into the classroom in Spring Creek this fall in a couple of weeks, and we're going to start doing some weekly intensives, hands-on, to illustrate to those students how important journalism, multi-platform communications, and really it belongs to them. But we need students to take over, right, Heather?
Yeah, well, you stole my thunder because
I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay.
I
appreciate that you you brought it up, because that little project shows really the power of what industry can do for our students. So it started with Matt promoting with Katie Krinka at Everything Elko, promoting some print ads for our kids to get involved in. Then those ads were ran in the Everything Elko magazine, and now
they're on billboards.
Yes. Now Elko Broadcasting's coming in to give those kids the opportunity to check out broadcast journalism as a whole. And the cool thing about that particular skill is, one of the English standards is learning how to communicate with an audience. And broadcast journalism is a different kind of communicating with an audience, because they're not in front of you. And so that takes a completely different skill. But what that's done for our students at the Spring Creek Multimedia is given them an opportunity to put their skills to work that's visible in our community. And so between Kinross and Everything Elko and Elko Broadcasting, the work that's happening in the classroom is actually providing a service to the community. But the kids are learning something that is real. They're getting an opportunity to make a difference in their community. And if there's any businesses out there listening that want to jump on board and, partner up with our students to give them those authentic real world applications, I'm all about that, because the kids really dig it when it means something.
And I, believe it or not, I can remember exactly how that felt. I was so bored in high school, and I loved my school and everything, and my teachers and my mentors. But until I got that job in the actual newspaper, and I took what was called work study, and then I found out how to apply what I was actually so bored by in the classroom, right? And I said, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. And it changed the world for me. So I really want to relate to those students in that way, Heather. That's an important part of, academia is important, and I'll never regret all my college studies, and that I continue my college studies, because it really broadens my world, honestly. But it's those skills that I learned, the Fourth Amendment class, the world religion class, all the things that apply to being a broadcaster now. And so I'm happy to help pay that back and give that to students today. I was thinking, as you said, this partnership works. If there's somebody in Carlin, for example, or Wells, these are communities that I think of that they are news deserts. Spring Creek is doing a good job. They're providing a lot more of their information. I don't know that it's journalism per se, but it is information that's coming out. But we need students to go to places like Carlin, so you can cover Carlin City Council meetings. You can start getting involved in county government that represents Carlin. If you could hire a student to do that work at the same time they're learning, you would see a tremendous difference in their community and how that community has access to information, and it provides a real foundation for people getting involved in the future.
For sure. And
accountability.
That's the direction that CTE is really headed, is getting them involved in their communities and getting those skills prior to exit, right? Our exit, and being able to eliminate and or gain the skills that they and find their niche, right? It's and that's, we've got a multimedia communications program in West Wendover too. But
Excellent.
I'm sure there's students, just because we don't have a multimedia communication program available for the Wells students or the Carlin students, I'm sure there's students out there who want to be a DJ.
Oh, sure. And it's funny because DJ used to mean, disc jockey. That was spinning records. And now it's about communicating everything as simple as what's the weather or what's the traffic, what's going on at your school board meeting, hosting these conversations. It's about, making a difference in your community. And it can be entertaining. At the same time, you're providing information. So, yeah, it's really exciting. And I would recommend, too, if you can, taking your classes at Great Basin College, even if you can get your associate degree, just because then you can take advantage of some humanities offerings or, some science classes. Geology was a huge class for me. And it was fairly recent, Heather, because it gave me a greater appreciation for the mining industry and what they're doing in the actual landscape out there, and wild horses and degradation, caused by overgrazing of species. Those are things that you get information when you take those classes. So it relates.
For sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without Great Basin College. It provided me educational opportunities when nobody else could, and I couldn't go to them. So I'm super thankful to GBC because I wouldn't be here without them.
And you got to stay here.
And I got to stay here.
See, there's nothing wrong with getting to stay here.
No,
not everybody wants to leave.
That's right.
Yeah, so super cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad we got to have this conversation, Heather, and we'll have more because, as I said, I'm super excited for the weeks to come to see what Spring Creek students come up with. They've already impressed me so much, and their enthusiasm and their ideas. I learn more from them, honestly. So, yeah. So, career fair, if people want to participate, how should they get in touch?
Well, there's multiple ways they can get to the QR code to register. Kayla's been great. It's on our app. It's on our Facebook page. It's on all of the high school Facebook pages. If they want to do it the old way, they could send me an email at hsteele, STEEL, at ECCSDNV.net. Or if they want to do it really the old way, they could call me at Spring Creek High School, and I could send them the link to the registration page. Again, it's 8 to 12 that we'll have students rotating in and out from all 7 high schools plus Battleborn. Setup will be from 7 to 8 and 11 to 12. And if, again, super excited, we want to fill that. Oh, it's at the convention center this year because we have outgrown all of our other spaces. So we need to fill up the convention center. And again, if your business is not necessarily looking for employees right now, we invite you to come give our students an opportunity to see what you do. If you are looking for employees right now, I'm offering you an opportunity to talk to 600 prospective employees.
Nice.
And we'd really like to get the businesses from not just Elko and Spring Creek, but all 7 of our communities for sure.
All right. You did say the date is October 31st.
October 31st, yeah.
There may be candy involved.
There could definitely be candy involved.
All right. That sounds great. Heather, you're awesome. And, I did want to give a plug, and I turned CJ's microphone back on because Heather mentioned Kayla, and Kayla Church is professional with the school administration. And I do believe, and I hope I'm speaking, I think Kayla is a graduate of UNR Journalism School, marketing for sure. But she is another outstanding example of someone who wants to be in the community, and she earned her credentials. And look at all the information she affords this community. I mean, thousands of people, CJ, because she's revamped the website. She handles your social media. I think that she helps you coordinate some of your community engagement, and look at the difference it makes.
Absolutely. It's hard to quantify how much Kayla does. And yeah, absolutely. It's massive uplift to our community and someone from here, and opportunities that she started with, I imagine, developing a love for writing and communications and that sort of thing while she was here in our schools, and was able to come back and bring that back to our community.
Yep. So perfect example of what a difference one person can make. So follow in those footsteps or wherever your path may lead. But we just want to keep all of our students engaged, and we want to encourage them. And some of you listening, you may have even better ideas than we have sitting here, and it's time for those too. So anything else that we may have missed today, CJ, that you want to make sure we mentioned?
Yeah, I'll just throw a couple more things in there. So going back to what we're talking about with Friday programming, and this connects directly to CTE. Am I still there? Okay.
Yeah, you're still there.
Going back to CTE and Great Basin College, this has all kind of come full circle and coalesced into mentioning this. Is on Fridays, GBC has what are called CTE Fridays, and they are learning opportunities and kind of hands-on, and I'm not going to try to go too much into what they're going to do, but they seem like pretty great learning opportunities for our students, and I think they have it broken down into age group. There's kind of like a younger kind of activity and engagement that they'll do, as well as for your older students. And so same place where we have all of our other four-day information on the website. There's a link to, you do have to sign up for it. You can't just, I don't think you can just show up. I think you have to sign up. There's a link to the sign up on our district website and 4-day page. And really grateful to GBC for joining with so many other community partners and making sure that there are opportunities for kids and trying to make sure that our community's desire for a 4-day school week works out okay. And just thanks to Heather as well and everyone working in the CTE world. As we know, not too long ago we developed a strategic plan, and what we've been talking about today is pretty key to a couple of those elements. One of those is that our students can be empowered to own their learning, and it's a lot easier to do that when it's something you really are interested in and care about. And it's awesome to see students in action owning their learning. And something else within that same statement, and I want to harken back to what you said, as you said, and you can stay here, you get to stay here. Within that that pillar of our strategic plan, it does say you can grow here and go anywhere. And I wanted to point out that go anywhere doesn't necessarily mean physically get in a vehicle and go to a different location. Go anywhere means go anywhere with your life, whatever direction you want to go with. And so you can grow here in any of our schools, and you can become whatever you want to become. And whether that means you stay here or go somewhere else, that's totally up to you, right? But I've had a couple of people be like, well, go anywhere. Doesn't that sound like you're sending them off? And I was like, no, not necessarily. Go anywhere means go anywhere with your life and what you want to do. And so really love that they can take those real world applications and just do it right here or wherever you want to be. So that's one. And then another element of our strategic plan that all of this really wraps into is our commitment to develop advanced pathways for our students. So and CTE provides that. When you can get industry certification, when you can pursue tracks, career tracks and pathways that may not be available to you elsewhere, it really broadens your horizons. And I think that's what all this is about, and why I would again echo and encourage employers to come to this fair. Make sure, it's not about finding that employee necessarily, and it's not in our realm anyway, it's not about that. It's about lighting a fire and inspiring kids. And so if whatever you can do to help maybe be that spark to have a student be excited about something and be engaged, there's almost nothing else more powerful than being able to inspire someone. And so please join us in trying to inspire our students to empower them to own their learning and to grow and move forward and be productive citizens.
Oh, that's fantastic, CJ. Thanks. And Heather's nodding and smiling, and you can see this great work that's being done together within the agencies. And Heather, coming from a Great Basin College as you did, and you dedicated much of your career there, and you see the opportunity that we have because before people would maybe, graduate from high school and then congratulations. Well, what now, right? And then or graduate from college. Congratulations. But what now, right? So you're helping people connect the dots and creating connecting the people that need each other, it looks like to me.
For sure. There's, I'm sure all of us could tell a story about how we ended up where we are now. And there's probably people along that pathway that drove you for whatever reason, one way or another. I decided in second grade I was going to be a vet and pursued that until I met the university world. But there were people along the way, and here I am where I feel like I'm taking my past mistakes and making them right and trying to encourage students to find that passion and be in a place where the paycheck doesn't matter. The rewards that you get out of it for your own human thing feeds you.
Mm-hmm. And you can have as many animals as you want now that you're grown up.
Right? Right, that's right.
You have a paycheck and you can afford them.
I tell kids all the time, the worst part of being an adult is figuring out that you have to cook dinner every night for the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's awesome. If that's the most difficult thing that we have to do, we're in good shape.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. And come back again because there's plenty more to talk about. Sounds to me like maybe we need to start, I think we can encourage Great Basin College to come on the radio again once a month.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. It would be wonderful because, again, they're an important part of our community. GBC, great big community going forward. It's kind of the way I always thought about it. So thanks, Heather. Thank you, Heather Steele, who is our CTE facilitator. Thank you, CJ Anderson, for assembling all the coolest people to get the good work done. And we'll talk again next month, okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for another edition of our radio show, Elko Live, here on KELK. We appreciate you very much.